wash sink with a spigot on it and everything, where the pipe just came down with gravity feed. It had a lot of pressure, but it had plenty of water to come in. You know, it was coming in good enough to wash dishes and wash hands. You can brush your teeth or whatever. And then he had, you know, he made this really cool rock sink with a little level. I'll never forget it, man. It's just these kind of things. But to talk to somebody like you that knows that area like you do, and there ain't nobody knows that area that I've ever talked to that knows it like you do. And so you told me you hit some spots in my heart that I grew up with. And there's a spot going out of that Village Bay, and the bay that opens up out to the ocean, right? And right outside the bay, to the left-hand side, I found this really awesome red snapper spot. It's as soon as you go out of the bay and turn left, there's this big rock cliff that comes straight down, like flat rock, almost like marble, that comes straight down to the ocean, straight down into the ocean. And right off that rock, only I would have to say maybe 4 or 5 yards out, right, with aluminum foam in a hand jig, a 120-pound test with a big gnarly ass steel shiny jig with a treble hook. I could just put it down before it even hit the bottom. A lot of times, hand line it right back up, and it gets this big red snapper. It's like a red snapper quarry there. I mean, it's just like these big red snappers are living there. There's like caves there and stuff, and they've been living there for decades and decades. And I guarantee you, if I went right there to that spot today, and nobody knows about it because it's hidden, it's underneath the water. Nobody even knows there's this red snapper right there. But I bet you I could go to that spot today, just snap my fingers, and be there, right? Right at that spot on the boat with a hand jig, or even just a good, solid heavy jig, and drop it right there where I used to catch those red snappers. And I guarantee you, I'd catch a big old red snapper, a huge, fat, big red snapper right there. I could have fish every day if I want to. Over.
Isn't that the best thing, man? Fresh fish, red snapper is so good. One of my favorites. I haven't caught any red snapper up there, but I've definitely caught salmon. Caught some nice salmon out there off of Quadra Island. But I know what you mean now. You got your secret fishing hole spot. There's also rock cod up there too. Back in the day, there was a lot more rock cod. I think some of it's been fished out, but that's what we used to fish for up on the Sunshine Coast too, Roberts Creek. I don't know if you ever remember the show when you were a kid called The Beachcombers. There was a show called The Beachcombers that ran for probably about 12 or 13 years on television, and it was actually filmed in Gibsons on the Sunshine Coast, which is kind of just southeast of Quadra Island, but on the mainland. And like I say, the only way to get to Sunshine Coast, you actually have to drive through Vancouver, and you go to take a Horseshoe Bay ferry, and it takes a 45-minute ferry to get to this remote peninsula, which is across from Vancouver Island, and that's where our cabin was. And it's funny you mentioned the water thing. You guys carried buckets of water up. Well, before we had water, we had to do the same thing, but then Dad, we had a creek, a freshwater creek that ran through our property, Flume Creek, and Dad got about 400 feet of black pipe back in the day, back in the 60s, and ran it to the kitchen sink. We only had cold water, but he took the water right out of that, right out of the creek where they had a little pump going there, and that's how we got our water right out of that creek. You could drink the water right out of the creek. It was just so clean. And we used to fish, we were kids, we used to fish for trout. There'd be rainbow trout, maybe some cutthroat in that creek. Just good memories, just good memories of growing up in that area. And like you have good memories of Quadra Island, man. Like that is actually a really beautiful area. And you know what? Quadra Island really hasn't changed that much. That's what's so nice about Quadra. It is a beautiful place to visit for sure.
Yeah, Roger. Hey, Joe, that's the trip that you said about. That's exactly the same time as we were up there in the early and mid 60s, up in the 60 marks, is where we were there. So you were there at the same time that we were there, but we never ran. You never know. We might have crossed each other somewhere, didn't even know. But yeah, we're just kids growing up. And my God Almighty, what a trip! What a beautiful place to trip around with. The only thing I didn't dig about it was the damn mosquitoes. They used to just terrorize me. They used to welt the shit out of me, those mosquitoes.
Yeah, mosquitoes suck. That's one thing we don't have here on our island. There's no bothersome bugs here where I live. You can sit out there any day of the year and not get bothered by bugs. Summer day, you sit out there and have your barbecue. No mosquitoes to bug you. I don't know. Maybe they don't like our island or something, but I don't like mosquitoes either.
Well, they like me, man. They'll welcome me. The thing about our place was on Village Bay there, is right up above us was a big lake, right? Well, the mosquitoes are just millions and millions and millions of mosquitoes around that lake, right? Let alone maybe coming around the sides of the river, whatever, laying their larvae and going whatever, and they're hungry as hell. And that's one thing, they like me a lot. They might not even touch some of my brothers and some of the other family, but they would welt me to the max. I had to cover up real good and whatever. As soon as dusk came out, and even through the night, man, they would hunt me down. We had to go over to Harriet, or what is it, Campbell River. When we went over to Campbell River to get supplies, my mom told my dad, get some mosquito netting. The kids are getting just annihilated through the night. I'd have big old gnarly red welts on my arms and itching and stuff because, we're sleeping. I got my arms out of the sleeping bag or whatever, and the mosquitoes are just attacking me. So my dad bought a big thing of mosquito netting, and we covered up the little bunk beds that they made for us. Some bunk beds, and they covered them all up around. So when we went in there, they didn't eat us to death. Over.
Yeah, the thing is, you had the sweetest blood, Henry, so they wanted you instead of the other people. They weren't into the other people's blood, so you had the right type of blood. That's what it is. I know people like that, too. They don't bother me, but they bother other people around me sometimes if I'm somewhere else, and they do have mosquitoes around in other areas, but I never really seem to get bothered by them. But anyway, hey, brother, I should roll. It's time for me to put some medicinal eye drops. I got to do eye drops every 4 hours, 2 different types of eye drops, 4 times a day, and now I'm supposed to lay down. I should be laying down on my right side, but I had to come out here and work a little skip, and I'm glad I got to talk with you again. And I remember last time we talked, Henry, we had a long queue, so we've been talking for about 31 minutes now, which is a good thing, and I got you about 20 over into the red, so you sound like you're sitting next to me here on Salt Spring Island. So with that, if I don't hear you before Christmas, Henry, I wish you and yours a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and good to talk with you. Those are good memories. You brought back a lot of good memories here, and I always cherish my good memories. My dad and my mom are long gone now, so I look at pictures of our cabin up there on the Sunshine Coast, me on my dad's motorbike when I was a little kid, me on my mini bikes and stuff. It's just really good times, so I always cherish those memories, buddy. And anyway, I hope we can hear you out there again, Henry. Always good to hear you there. 250 down there in beautiful Santa Barbara. Enjoy that beautiful weather. We got about 54 here, 54 degrees Fahrenheit, with mostly sunny skies out here on the Gulf Islands. So cheers and 73s, bro, from 9 Alpha Tango 791.
Okay, sounds really good there. Yeah, 791. Hey, Joe, you take it easy out there, man. My folks, my mom and my dad are passed away too. Within the last 6 years. The last 6 years or so, they both, one went and then the other goes, after a while. So yeah, God bless them. But my grandfolks have been long gone, a long time ago. But yeah, well, I think we have a lot in common with the family and about the time when we were there and everything else. Super good to catch up with you again. All the best for holidays. Merry Christmas. Have a good New Year's if I miss you. I'm sure we'll catch up to you. The conditions have been pretty good for Canada lately. So if you hear me around 365 or up and down the band, be sure you get back with me. We'll have a little bit more of a chit-chat. Take care. God bless. All the best to you, Joe. I hope your eyesight comes back really good and you do real good. And when you go do some fishing and some motorcycling and what have you.
Thanks, Henry. Cheers to you and yours as well. And yeah, my dad went in May 2016, and like you say, usually the spouse goes shortly after. Mom went in February 2018, so within a couple of years apart, they were gone. He was in his 80s, she was in her 80s. So anyway, have a good day. Merry Christmas, brother, and we'll listen for you out there. Time for me to put the drops in and lay down. Take care.
That's it, 73rd, 251. That's number 2, number 5, number 1. Henry, 2K251. The old Steve Peter, 251 Henry, Santa Barbara, California. Will be clear, 73rd.
Thanks, 251 Henry, 9 Alpha Tango, 791 clear.